The Calise family. Hi, everyone. Good morning. It's that time of day, and it's Community Lamb Hour. And I'm thankful to God that He woke me up this morning with His blessings. His right hand lifted me up. As a matter of fact, this morning He woke me up early. When I look at the clock, it was 3:03 a.m. in the morning. I said, my God, today we are talking about summertime events. Because we're winding down. We're already in the last day of May. Isn't that amazing? But this year, 2023, God is showing us His power, His glory, what He's doing and what He can do, and what He says in the Word He will do, because many of us are not using the Word as we should. And we're still doing all sorts of other things out there. Okay? People are still blaming one another, not looking in their mirrors of life, not looking to see what is. And we reach a time in life when we need to stop quarreling, arguing, and finger pointing, and all these other things that we do. Because if you look in the mirror, you'll see yourself if you're looking at yourself. But if you look in the mirror and you're looking at someone else, that's a different story. So let us learn to live in love in these last days, wherever we are, and let us stop all the nonsense. It's time to stop the nonsense. Wake up. People, human beings cannot even live together. I look at the animals, the birds, they have their things, but they get back and they do what they have to do. But you know what? The Bible says that we are going to be accountable for the things that come out of our mouths, because we are His highest, His greatest creation. So be careful what you use in your mouth. You might use it as a weapon, but at the same time, you are accountable, because there's three sides to everything: your side, my side, or their side, and the naked truth. Okay? Speaking of naked, So let us bide our towns and try and figure out where we personally in this time have gone wrong in life. Good morning, Miss Merle. I think she's on today. I haven't seen her yet, but she's on. She's coming on. And it's crazy. So today we talk about summertime events. What is summertime events? The weather is nice, much nicer. Some days are 20, some days are 21, and then you get your cool bits in it, because we're out here in Canada. This is how it goes. And even if you were anywhere else in a warm country, you would have rain mixed with, So that's how it goes. So let us live in love and understand what it is. So I want to, today is in the day of May, and our Hebrew word for today is Elohai Tehilate. It means the God of my praise. O God of my praise, keep not silent. And that is Psalms 109, verse 1. Because He's here watching us, and we have to live the life right, Put a watch over your tongue. Remember, I was talking about the battle of the tongue. I'm still going to the battle of the tongue. Put a watch. When the children of Israel were speaking, cursing, and death, they went through a lot of sadness, and because sometimes the Bible, we don't read the word of God to see before we get into anything. What if we say, what if we, because and try not to harm anybody in any way, okay? In any way. We have to follow the word of God. The olden, our ancestral families lived so great, so well, because we're able to understand what it means to grow up, to train up, to respect one another, and not try to create poison environments. We need to look in that mirror, right? So for the summertime, create good ground with all you meet. And for the rest of your life, do the same, because it's what's going to bless you, not hold you back. So we need to be aware of what is coming out of the mouth gates that God has created for us to bless. Like he said in the word, bless, not curse, so we can enjoy the rest of our lives, okay, peacefully. And be the example for the people out there. I years ago, I looked at something, and it's from work colleagues and stuff. You're well dressed, but the words that come out of your mouth, they're so filthy. It's impossible to understand. How can a human being chat with you, smile with you, and then these words, these filthy words that is going to not lift you up but pull you down? Because while we get our audiences, or same audience turns around and you want to go in some high place, they want to accompany you because they don't want to be ashamed. They don't want to feel bad and look and say, wow. But it is life, and people do all sorts of things. They steal, they murder, they rob, they lie, they do everything, and they try to put words in other people's mouths. A lot of us do that. Right away, our actions speak louder than our words. So let us go on to summertime. So just preparing you for summer, because you're going to meet all kinds of people out there with many different personalities, and you have to be able to manage yourself around everybody. Okay? So that you're prepared. Someone nudge you, and you're very what do you call it? They touch you, and you just feel whatever, and there's an outburst. There's no need for that. Control yourselves. Okay? Your children are going for a seat, somebody else took the seat. It's summertime. Don't fight and quarrel over the seat. Look for another one. God is testing you and you don't even realize it. But you're adding more coals of fire on your head. So be very careful out there, human beings. We have to be careful. Some of us, we're not quiet for the sake of quietness. You're quiet because God has taught us to be coy and diplomatic. Okay? So it's not everything we have an outburst for. So it's summertime. So what are some of the events that you can run into right now? School, we have one more month for school to finish, a few more weeks. And the children are outside for the summer, July and August, getting ready for their September. So the picnics, where you're going, the museum, the Underground Railroad out west, Hamilton Way, St. Thomas, Chatham. All those places have so many things for us out there as human beings who want to know the history of Canada and what happened and who came and how they came and why they came. All of that is there for you. You have Niagara Falls, you have the African Lion Safari. Oh, so many things to do. But you have to be safe in all things. Being on the road, I was aghast as to how bad our drivers are. It's crazy. The speeds, they go beyond the speed. They could hardly stop. They have to go on the medium sometimes in driving because they're driving so fast. Who are you showing off your skills to? You need to show off your skills to ensure that you save lives and save your own. Because there's so many accidents that's taking place. And today I pray for all the young men and women out there and all the gun violence, all those who are running off from home, being lost, missing persons. The list goes on, but be safe. Be very safe. It is important to be safe. It is important to understand where you are and the opportunity of a lifetime that you have. We are so lucky, so fortunate to be here. Excuse me. That came unexpectedly. Yeah. So let me shout my name. Here am I, all of God's child, all of God's own. Here to say good morning and to say, we who are here on this earth today, this morning, we're blessed, we're fortunate, and we should give thanks. We should give thanks for all the benefits that we have received. And we must also look at where we are. We fought so hard in prayer, many of us. God, when is the weather going to get better? Some of us pray about it. Some of us quarrel every day about it. Some of us use profane language towards the weather because that's what we are. And I had a conversation today with someone, and we're talking about picking up other people's other people's mannerisms, skills. When you grow up in an environment and you are more more polite, and then you meet up the outside world, either when you're working or going to school, and everybody is using words, but you're using them. You may not use them in your home, but it creates a pattern. And if the pattern continues, you cannot change it because it becomes instilled in you. So do not pick up habits that are not healthy and it would not benefit you. Because while for some they may get away with it, for some to others you do not. You are judged by those things because when we pick up habits that we weren't accustomed to, we don't know when to use them, and we think it's okay. You can lose a job. You can lose respect. You lose an opportunity. Some opportunity out there. So we have to be careful with our words, and be mindful of who we are.
Good morning, Pastor Daphne.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I am blessed. I am blessed. Happy to be in the land of the living. I was just saying this morning around 3:03, I got up and the good Lord woke me up, with a word. And it's so profound. I haven't even looked in the Bible for it because I know it's there. And he was saying, oh, your right hand is going to find out those who go against you. And I was like, what? And I didn't think of it. And I went looking for it this morning, but I haven't put my finger on it, Sometimes, and I didn't want to get up, but I heard in my ear. So I was up. I look at the clock, it was 3:03 a.m. 3:03. So how are you?
As usual,
With all
thankful.
with all that you've been through, the song
Very
says,
thankful.
through many dangers, toil and stress, strains, you still look beautiful as ever. Isn't God
That's,
amazing?
Pastor
When
Daphne, that is just Christ.
that's when his glory is upon you, you still
It's just Christ.
shine in
It's
in
Christ.
in spite of the situation, and we should shine,
I don't let situations get me because
No.
Christ got me. If Christ get you, that Christ said, rest.
Rest in me.
Everybody tell me that they are going to they fasting, right? And I let them know that my fast is my rest. I
Yes.
rest in Christ. And when you rest, I don't have to take care of nothing.
No.
I just know, just throw it, roll back. I just have to do as Christ say.
You just
Live
take it and
in
you hand it
Christ.
back to him.
Live in Christ, breathe Christ, let Christ shine through you. You mirror Christ.
Yes, that's all you have to do. It's not a big. He didn't make it difficult for us.
No. We used to think it was difficult because we didn't want to give up all the things of the world.
Yeah, but when you give it up, you have that peace that passes all
Because we
human
think
understanding.
I mean, yeah. It's like when Abraham, when he had to sacrifice Isaac, right?
Mm-hmm.
Isaac was like that child. He couldn't have a child, right?
Yes.
And then he had to sacrifice Isaac. He gave up and he learned, give up everything.
Yeah.
And see God, his only son, the one he couldn't have, was willing to give it up.
Yeah, and he followed his instructions.
He followed God.
Right to the T, right to the end,
And as soon as he came back down, what did he do? He gave away everything that he had. He gave it away. You know what?
Yes.
He found God.
And took up his cross.
He found the Spirit. He saw the Spirit came through him bright and clear. And that's what happened to us.
And you realize that there's not an affinity with anything. You just let it go because your God is inside and he's the one who's doing everything.
He's the one that's doing it, and we give him glory.
Yes. It's so amazing, it's so amazing.
God's grace.
We have to be able to go like when he was called, like when Abraham was called, to just be ready to take off to do the work that we're called to do. So we're talking today about summertime events. There's so many things happening. I just went over, blurby over all the different, things that I can think of, for the summer. Yeah, all the museums and the parks, etc. And we have to talk about safety during this time as well. So I spoke a little bit about it,
a little bit about safety, but Pastor Daphne, I view nowadays, when I was growing up as a young girl, one of the papers that I wrote before I was 14 was respect. Yes. About the meaning of respect. And, when I look at safety, I see safety. We never viewed safety long time, like how everything now have to be safety, right? In many ways. Safety plays a key role. And to me, safety ties right in with respect.
Yes, because you know what? I was just saying earlier on that, you get on the train and someone comes, you're going to walk to a seat and someone just dashes past you and sit on it. don't get mad. Look for
Not
another
only
one.
don't get mad, if somebody like dash in front of you, take the seat. What if you slip?
Exactly.
You know, people
So it's
just
both parties are at risk for what something when you look at it,
mhm. People
So
have their children in their cars, and
no seatbelt.
I have learned to, and it's not like a now thing. In
Mm,
our days, Pastor, after we both were drivers,
yes.
and we both know the downtown corridor.
Yep.
I mean, long time we could park our cars downtown, and
No,
we
but
know
not
by 4 o'clock in the afternoon downtown, I'm sure it was 4, that we
mhm.
had to move our cars if we were
From
parked
where it was, yes, because
right,
it's yes, it's traffic, evening traffic.
or our cars would be towed, right?
That's right.
I
Mm-hmm.
mean, like, and then we realized that, over the last 20 years, we couldn't even pay for parking downtown.
No, I can't get
Or
over it.
parking from 25 cents, wait, for 25 cents, and we have to take the kids, say, to a baseball game or something. We're leaving hours before, and we still giving somebody $20 to park in a parking spot that where people could still come and steal our cars because we
Yeah.
couldn't get to the proper parking spots. Were all full
Hmm.
already, right?
Well, and they didn't even have that much parking control because any empty spot, people would create a business on it.
Right, and we would be glad to even get those spots and pay the $20 to get the parking, right? And
Uh,
but no, and then after it went up, like these parking spots just skyrocketed. People were
oh
taking
yes,
stuff from us. We learned just to take the kids down on the bus,
yeah,
like on the subway, like we
yeah, yeah.
just
You
like
stop on the subway line and you park there, and you take the subway. You use the transportation.
right, and even the GO train and all of that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
The GO train, like if my sister, we came from out in Brampton, my sisters were in Pickering, we would meet.
Yeah.
Leave on the same train, come down, and we will meet right there. And when we're going back, it's the same GO train.
It's the same.
So
It's
we
the same routine. Same routine. But
and
it's funny that everybody, you see, and this is what I keep saying all the time. People have 3 and 4 cars in their driveways, and they all want to be on the road. And then they complain about gridlock. You cannot complain about things when you are part of the problem, because the
yeah,
solution is they everybody wants to be in their car, there.
yeah, but
Remember long ago when we
it's
say sometimes when you go in places and you pick up with friends and say, okay, I'll pick you up so that you don't have to drive. They don't do that anymore.
I mean, like I was saying to actually your daughter this week
Mm-hmm.
about how we would pool to go to
Yeah,
church. Like all
carpooling.
of us would
Mm-hmm.
come in from Brampton area, and our church was down at Finch and Milvan.
Mm-hmm.
We will carpool in for our van would be so full of people,
Mm-hmm.
coming down and bringing down different people to church, right? It's the
Mm-hmm.
same
But they
thing
don't
with
even do
going
that. That courtesy
downtown.
is not hardly ever there out anymore.
I
And that's
don't know if
and
it
that's
is or
why
if
a
it
lot of
isn't.
people, who wants to in the body of Christ that still wants to attend church, they wouldn't because of the fact that people don't carpool, if there is any, it's limited,
I
so
don't, yeah, but I don't know. But to reach to all these different places, Pastor Daphne,
they have to
um,
take the public transport
yeah,
because to make
between
it
the go bus and the what we call it, Metrolink.
Metrolink, yes,
Yeah,
yes, yes,
but when I look at all the GTA buses, right, whether it be
uh-huh,
Durham or Brampton or York Region, right,
right, mm-hmm.
everything comes down into Toronto area.
Yeah, it comes right down to the waterfront area.
I saw some buses from York Region out in Scarborough. And I thought,
Mm-hmm. They
Wow,
travel
how
through.
far
I was surprised. I was really surprised. Um, I didn't
so
even
there is
realize.
access.
Yeah, there's a lot of there's transit access. There's public transit access everywhere in Toronto, but people are not utilizing it. They still want to get on the road. They know very well they can't even drive even 10 feet away, but yet still they want to speed up.
Exactly.
And not only that, like I was saying earlier, a lot of them, when they drive so fast on the road, they have to end up on the median on the side when they have to stop suddenly.
Pastor Daphne, yesterday, my daughter picked me up because I came down on the go bus and I came all the way out to Caledon, and
Mm-hmm.
I asked her to pick me up at a certain at Mayfield and
Some,
Kennedy area, Mayfield
yeah,
and
yeah.
Mayfield and Bramley area, because there was
Mm-hmm.
not a bus coming across. So
Mm-hmm.
when she picked me up and we were driving, there were two cars
Hmm.
chasing each other, Pastor
Yeah,
Daphne.
it's
The chase was so
crazy.
bad. They were going through red lights. Okay.
And you know, and this is why they have so many what you call it, meters with the cameras in places
Pastor
like
Daphne, by the time we reached down to
mm-hmm.
Kennedy and Mayfield, there was a big accident. If you saw the guy car,
You
and
know
my
what?
daughter said, "Me, do not take up the phone and call the police and tell the police that they were chasing each other. I know you ain't no mommy." So I didn't make the phone call. But generally, I would have gotten those numbers and I would have called the police. So one
No,
person
because they
came
do
and said,
nonsense. You're putting other people's lives at
at
risk.
risk, so much of
And
us
that
on
is,
that
it's not
street.
about, calling them. It's about adhering to the rules of the regulations of driving. And
But
if you
then
can't
past
adhere
that,
to the rule, you have to feel it.
look at what they caused. They caused a big accident,
Back up in traffic.
back up in traffic. People
And
have to
guess
go
what?
to work.
You have to go home. If your children is home waiting for you to either have dinner or to wonder what happened to you, guess what? You have to go and tell them there was an accident that you didn't cause that took place. Can you imagine
And
that?
all only because of road rage. I look at it and I said, this thing on
Yeah.
safety, such a big thing. Why people?
Mm.
That's why I always tell people, I pray for salvation. Because
Yes.
if they have salvation, they're not going to have road rage.
But Minister Merle, people don't realize salvation is the key to our lives. When you have salvation, you have respect, you are courteous, you love, you
You
know,
can't. Yeah. Yeah.
you think of others. You don't think of yourself only, you know. Salvation is important. Even in the Word
It
of God, it teaches, there's parts, I'm sure some pastors have never read, where it teaches you what you're supposed to be doing. What's he
Yes.
supposed to be telling the sheep when they come? It's not just about the word, just the general word of telling how to, how to this and how to that, but it's the how to live from day to day. They're cutting the grass in my area, and you can hear it even though the patio doors and everything is closed. You can hear them. So that's my noise in there, making sure the grass is looking pretty again. Yeah.
But
So
I don't know the how about people prices and how they're taking out the kids this summer.
I
I
don't
mean,
know.
I don't know what people are going to be doing. So, ay, ay, ay. But I have seen the improvement in many of the parks.
Hmm.
Many of the parks are really improved, right?
Yeah, they have a lot of summer things to them, like the water things. I saw the umbrella. When Saya came over, there was the park had the umbrella. They had the little hoops, the one that goes around.
Yeah.
They had the big flower that
Yeah,
sprinkles
like
down
your water park. The water
all the
park
water
is
parks. So we have a water park, and we got all the swings and all the monkey bars and everything. So they have added some stuff to it. So at least the kids, those who are not going out every day and they'll be home, there's a lot of stuff for them to but the other thing with that is they have to be able to live with one another. What human beings don't realize, it's not you and us, them and us, it's we as human beings have to be able to live together. We have to be able to share the monkey bars, use it and let the other person get a chance so that you could use something else and they can use what you have. We have to learn to do these things because we're living.
Respect the grounds, Pastor Daphne. I mean, like, okay, fine. You don't find a lot of cigarette butts and stuff now, right? But people just litter. They just throw things any old how. And I mean, like,
Yeah.
I don't understand.
It's, you know what it is? It's the things, the ways, their ways is what changes things. For instance, you're living in a place where you're not supposed to put clothes on the lawn, but you're on the main, you know, it's a condo and you're living on the first floor, but you're throwing all your clothes on the shrubbery. And you know you're not supposed to do that. That's a no-no. Why do it? You know, people do.
Unless, Pastor Daphne, no, hold on. Unless it's one of the bylaws. Because when I lived on Major Oaks, right, we could have our outdoor lines. You know, I had a line on my balcony and I had a pole and I would hang out clothes outside. And then there was a law passed in Brampton that we couldn't hang our clothes outside anymore. So we had to take that. We had to take it down. But unless it's one of you could put your clothes out. Like I'll put my clothes out on the deck and just to get that sun, right?
Yes, but a little bit of sunshine, yes.
If it's a law, you cannot do it.
Go ahead. I'm just going to close this window.
Because they do have laws. They do have laws.
Oh, it's quite noisy. Whew. They're driving a real huge, updated moto that does a lot of hard work, fast and sharp.
So one of the things that I wanted to talk about, safety, is when we send our children to camp. I think the parents need to be talking to their children
especially with swimming. And even if they go into wilderness areas, you know,
there's always camp leader. I'm talking about safety, protection with young children, other children touching other children, camp leaders touching. We need to proof our children around that kind of
yes.
That kind of safety.
That conversation, that conversation. Right.
Because the kids are going to camp soon, right?
Yes.
To the summer. A lot of we send our kids out.
So that conversation about on sexuality and what is right and what is good and bad touch. And remember, we had that.
What is not appropriate.
Right.
You know, what is acceptable and what's not acceptable.
That's right.
You know, even our kids, we talk about safety. Some of our kids know that they have allergy to peanuts.
Yes.
And some of our kids will still go eat a peanut. I mean, but
like
those are the kind of stuff.
The fresh grass, when it's cut, I can't even go outside.
Yeah,
it just,
you
know.
My sister gets somebody to cut her grass, and I was outside after to just, I don't know, nowadays they cut your grass and they're not raking. So you get that kind of stuff. So I went out after.
I think that's a bylaw now. They said you have to leave it on top.
Please, I know it's a fertilizer, but who wants your grass looking like that? I don't know why.
I think if they had said, you know, if you put it in a bin and, you know, I don't know.
Pastor Daphne, I rake. I don't care what they say. I'm raking my lawn, right? because I don't want no dry grass on my lawn looking nasty. Plus, nowadays, have all kind of dandelion in your lawn.
Oh yes,
I
I've
don't
seen a
want
lot
all
of
of
them
that.
here. Oh my goodness. You should
So
see
I
it.
told them, these dandelions in your lawn. So I don't, anyway, coming back to safety, but with the children going to camp and stuff, people need to parents
Mhm.
really need to put their children down, have, you know,
A
safety tips
conversation,
around
yes. Mhm.
what is acceptable and
Prepare
norm and
them.
what is not acceptable,
Yes.
and how quick to report if
Yes.
anybody try to touch them, who do you
Yes. Yes.
talk to, what do you do, you know, those
Mhm.
kind of things people need to be doing for during the summer, safety
Yes.
and stuff.
Mhm. Um, what about also for the summer we should remind people that they must have a medical package, where they have band-aids and these little things where the kids get cuts and bruises.
Yeah.
Be prepared with all of that, little tiny thing of Vaseline that you could put on, rub on the little knees, because Vaseline is a healing product. And
Well, most parents have emergency kit. Well, everybody
yes, you need
driving a
those.
car, but
Yes.
you know,
We hopefully.
I but what happened is now, because some people are taking the subways and all of that, right? So,
Mm-hmm,
and
mm-hmm.
we took kids out this weekend
And
already.
you can still have your mask when you have colds, or and all these other things, mask for your colds, or if you're going to a dusty place, have it there so that um you don't
We
suffer
actually
any
took we took kids
for
out
all
this
the
weekend.
respiratory things.
And one of the things that I said to the parent, which is my nephew, and he's 40,
Hmm.
was that okay, not the school backpacks, but children always need a backpack when we are traveling out.
Yes, with
Backpack with all
emergency
their
things. Hmm.
and their juices. But we also, because we also put a little first aid kit in there for them.
Yes. Hmm.
With and we put the little antibiotic. We put
Yeah,
that
the little
spray.
packages, even the packages.
Yeah, and we put, we have that little tiny spray, that homemade remedy that we spray if they get a bee
Yes,
bite,
yes.
if they get anything. All of
Mm-hmm.
that is in there. We have like
Mm-hmm.
a little Ziploc bag with the, and kids love the bandage, right? You know this.
Yes.
Everything is a bandage, right?
Oh yeah.
So if you get an ant bite and
If you
all, they
talk
need
too
a
loud, they'll
bandage.
put a band-aid on.
Anything, everything is a bandage. So, or to have all that bandage, so they
And
have their own
yes,
first aid
and
kit
make sure
inside of
that
their backpack.
right, and make sure the
Because
kit has all of those things in, and including a safety pin, because you never know when you might need one.
no, I don't give them a safety pin. I throw it in my bag, in my
Okay.
handbag. But I don't
Yes.
give the kids that, because I know kids will use that to poke each other if they
Oh my
get mad.
gosh.
So I don't give them no instrument. Nowadays, it's not an instrument. I would say the word instrument, but in schools and stuff, they say it's a weapon. Everything become a weapon. Your own
Yes.
hands become a
They've
weapon. You
they've
don't use your
weaponized a
hands as
lot of
a weapon.
things.
Oh my God,
Mm-mm.
everything. It's a beautiful thing to live in the now,
Yes.
but the
But
way how the wording of things have just changed,
yes, yes,
transformed.
yes. Yeah,
You
it's
have to
totally
be
different. But
politically
it's
correct.
yeah, but it's a time, it's a time for that break to just relax and enjoy, sleep in, wake up, and do different little things during the day. And and if your parents have the time to take the kids on a drive somewhere, the northern country, to see places, like Niagara Falls and the stuff like that. All of that, the Underground Railroad, and to also to try and get to Chatham to see where they had the crossing. That's part of it. So there's a lot to be seen, and also for them to learn, give them books to read. I always had books and crayons and coloring books and pens and reading books when my
Yeah,
kids were
because even
traveling.
if even if they're
On the road
traveling
trips.
on the
On the
bus,
road
they
trip,
have
on the
things
road
to do.
trips, you know,
Yeah,
so
and
that they're
even
not
on the
bored.
bus, on
But
the
they have
bus, you
this,
put it
they
in.
all have the iPads now.
They all have a device, right? So my great nephews, and they were in the car, and
Mhm.
I put in the tablets for them. I did, and then my nephew was saying, "Oh, there is no internet. You can't use it." I said, "Yes, they could use it. Everything is downloaded.
Yes,
Once they download all the movies and stuff, they could still watch it."
they still watch
But
it. Yes, it's
but we also, Pastor Daphne, we travel differently in different parts of the world, because some of us still travel with board games.
yes.
We still travel with Uno and a deck of cards or
Oh yeah,
domino.
well,
We
Uno
still
is always a
travel.
good game. Although my grandson plays Uno with me, he came and played here me, and he was just stealing my goodness from me. And I said, but wait, no, 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 it's that you're making your own rules in this game now. You
So
know,
some people
those are
still
great
travel.
engagements for the kids. You know.
Yeah, so we have all of that inside of these backpacks that
Yes,
these
yes.
kids travel with, so they could just take up and do whatever whenever,
On the road
and
and
they don't
travel.
get bored.
Yeah.
Kids tend to get bored. But one of the things we used to do all the time was take these long, beautiful road trips.
I love those long road trips. Like, you leave here, you go to the States, yeah, or you go
But
east or
what
whatever.
I'm noticing, Pastor Daphne, in every province I have
Uh-huh.
been looking, and I've never heard this, like seen this.
Uh-huh.
Even driving Nova Scotia, they got wildfire in Nova Scotia.
Yes.
That's sort of quite different. In
Yep.
Alberta, there's wildfire. In BC,
Minister Merle, it is the time of the end, and people, we are so busy with not paying attention. These are the things that the Bible says will happen.
I look at Prince
Because
Edward Island and I was like, where could people really drive
exactly.
and be safe?
Simply, the word said it. The word said the more wicked humanity becomes, is the less we will get to enjoy. But if you don't read the word and you only read a certain part of the word, or you only have a rotation, then you have a problem. It's in the word. He said he started taking away the earth. Did you realize a piece of Africa is cracking to separate it?
Well,
I don't know if it's man-made over time. I don't know if it's God has been doing it, but there's a crack.
We'll see. But Pastor Daphne, this is when we're talking about what we're doing during the summer. I thought about it and I thought, wow, because I was thinking.
What about the church and the summer Bible school programs?
Yes, a lot of our churches offer, not just in Canada, but a lot of
globally.
Yeah, they offer a lot of
they have a lot of all the day programs.
Day and overnight camps.
Oh really? Oh yes, that's right.
Remember, Salvation Army, St.
Yes.
Vincent de Paul, all a lot of organization, a lot of Christian Bible colleges.
Remember the ones that the kids had to go downtown and meet to go to the camp?
Yes, that was the one down on, I don't know, Cherry Street down there where we
don't
used
ask
to
me.
go.
That's a long time ago. That was when I was young.
No, the names just come back to me. I know the name because I still tell people about the various camps I used to know.
There are a lot of camps. Send your kids to camp, but they have to be prepared. Prepare them for camp, and even if you have to give them a checklist that they could read, have handy to understand camp, especially if it's the first time. All these things are necessary.
But all the kids that go to the Christian camp come back singing, knowing all kind of Christian songs. It's a beautiful thing when they go to these.
They're much calmer. They're in a better frame of mind.
Yes.
They come back renewed and somewhat
Camp is
and
beautiful.
restored.
I never really sent my kids to camp, my own
Mhm.
2 children to camp, but my son went once
Yeah,
to one camp, and he tells everybody all his life that was the most beautiful week of his life growing up as a kid.
yeah, he went to camp. Yeah.
He went to camp.
Well, I was in scouts as a young girl and brownies. So basically, I went to a lot of, they did a lot of those things that, growing up. But,
I was in guides and everything, but my
and not
mother
only that,
never
what about the
sent.
ones? Go
Only
ahead.
my brother was able to go overnight.
Mm-hmm.
Mommy never
Mm-hmm.
sent the girls to anything overnight.
And what about the military cadets? They have those programs that the children can get involved in.
Oh yeah, I
Mm-hmm.
did that with all my foster kids. That they
Mm-hmm.
always did these the camps, and now today, we thank God that Trey's in the military,
Yes.
doing all kind of
Yes.
stuff for
Yes.
Canada. Thank God for that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like, you think of how much we would take
Mm-hmm.
kids to all the different
Mm-hmm.
cadets, and cadets always pay off for the kids because the
It
kids
does
didn't
because it's
just
it's a
go
it's a
to
it's a
cadet.
it's a jump board,
These kids also got paid while they were kids.
Mm-hmm.
When they went to cadet camp.
Yeah, because
They
it's a
didn't
career.
come
It's
back
almost it's a
empty.
career thing.
Yeah, our kids got, so besides, some camps offer money back. Some camps give a lot of gifts.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like the kids come back physically and spiritually. It depends on what camp they go to.
Mm-hmm.
But they come back with a lot of knowledge.
Yes.
Good thing
It
to
makes
send.
a difference. And you can see the change in them as they come back because they realize it's not the everyday, it's something special. And when you look at it, you're able to see it for something down the road, if possible. It's like those who are employed in the different government and private sector companies for the summer. They get a chance to experience life at a different level, at what
Not
their teachers.
everybody is fortunate. Not a lot of
Yeah.
people are
Well, that's what I said.
fortunate.
For those who are fortunate enough.
When I look at the young people in university, I look at the young people
Mm-hmm.
at the university level, and I see so many Africans from Africa, so many Indians, and I wonder what happened to our Caribbean people.
Yeah. You
with
know
our
what?
children.
We're not being channeled. They're not, I think it's more the people that you're around. And we have to learn to be able to make our own decisions. That enslavement issue has come down laziness in our DNA, and sometimes some of the rhetoric that is spoken doesn't empower you to realize that you have to just keep going forward, upward and forward.
So could I ask you a question, Pastor Daphne?
Go ahead.
Could I ask you a question?
Yes.
You and I grew up in Trinidad, so I'm going to ask you a question.
Mm-hmm.
Were your parents, and I could talk for mine,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because I told you we have our book with our ancestors and stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we know which one of our grandparents was a slave, right?
That's right. Okay.
And was any of your grandparents a slave, Pastor Daphne?
Well, we have land, so they have to be, because in the Baker's village where my great aunt lived, that was a cane field, and they own it
Okay.
now. So her
So you don't know if beyond, you have never asked. But Pastor Daphne, retrospect, all of us come down have to have slaves in our family.
Yes, we have.
Okay.
But But
so could I ask you the question that I want to ask you the question?
Go ahead.
Why is it that so much of us who grew in the West Indies took our education?
And our children wouldn't.
I didn't say our children wouldn't, but you brought up a point about Caribbean people.
Yes.
I like with the enslavement. So I want to know, why did you take your education in Trinidad? But you got educated here. I was in Trinidad. I started, like, finished my grade 13 in Trinidad. All my brothers and sisters went to college in Trinidad. Is when we went between Jamaica and England and American Canada that, you know, we went on to college, right?
That's right.
So what has happened when we bring our children here?
I think we are lax in terms of letting them know the opportunity, and not even ingraining in them the fact that we who come from the Caribbean have come from enslavement, and the mentality about it ingrained in the minds of our ancestors is a lot of servitude, serving without any remuneration or reparation. And you know, the thing that we didn't put in them, or we haven't heard, because I always hear my grandfather used to say to me, you've got to get a good education to get ahead. And you're telling the younger ones that, and they don't seem to think. They seem to think that they're born in Canada, and you know, Canada's rules are different to what we have. And it's not that. It's, you have to be able to forge forward. People are coming inside where you are born and having better opportunities than yourselves. Why is that? It's because you're not listening to what your parents are saying. You're not adhering to it. Because we send them to school.
Pastor Daphne, I have been driving a lot lately, and I am watching, and it's not just the Blacks. I'm looking at the majority of I was just like really blown off with the amount of white people that I was seeing, and seeing like just sitting around shelters. You know, at one point I would drive and
Minister Mo, okay, let me tell you something about that. Let me give you that, a quick blow. I've been driving around myself, and I notice it. And what I have noticed, and this is public knowledge, if you go to certain banks, it's only one set of people working there. If you go on a property management place, it's only one set of people. They're not looking at DEI, which is diversity, you know, and inclusion, equity and inclusion. It's not being, you know, adhered to. And it seems as though they're starting not to get in, you know, get everybody involved.
Pastor Daphne, I really feel that if the people are educated, most of the interviews are done online. I've seen like if you have your education, you fill out your form. But what I'm saying is, many people are not going further, and the other ones are going higher, getting a higher education.
Because they see the opportunity. Ours are not seeing the opportunity. They're very complacent.
Very complacent. That's the right word.
Why sweat 8 hours rigorously as though you're under slavery, instead of going and get your education and get something where you could sit in a nice job and become a middle manager, a top level leader? No, they're not going that way. And when you talk about it, everybody have an excuse. It's like when we first came and we saw all the native people on the street. Do you see them on the street anymore? That's the Lord, yes?
No,
because guess what? They have implemented a lot of programs in Indian Affairs for their people so that they will get themselves there. And one of these grand days, believe you me, they'll be right on top where they belong. So we need to tell our children and remind them every single day that it is imperative. It's not even important. It is beyond importance. Because, you know, what are you spending your time doing? Gabbing? Go and sit down in school and let someone teach you and learn and become better and do better, do greater. That's what we are supposed to be doing. Anyway, we reached the end of this segment. And you know what? To all Africans and those who are here in Canada, if you watch this program, get a little education. I do it all the time. I take every course that I could find, Minister Merle. Everything that's taking place. You're never too old to learn. When you think about Sarah and how the Bible speaks about Sarah, we're never too old to learn. So get your skills there. The places are still open and they're still waiting, but we don't have time. But guess what? When you get your money to do your school, do it. Manage your money so that you can live well, live comfortably, and get the piece of paper that will give you added bonuses to what you already have. And a lot of them have good skills. All they need behind the skills is a good education, right?
Yeah.
So that's it. So Minister Merle, you're the last on the line.
Well, as this week, everybody have a good week and be safe during the summer. Enjoy the summer because we don't have lots of months. Don't.
And what is tomorrow?
Running. Just get out, get some fresh air. I know everybody have allergies, but get outside. Enjoy the weather and enjoy. I just wish that people could do more, but just enjoy.
Enjoy it. And don't forget, tomorrow begins the month of June. So happy June to everyone and all those who are celebrating birthdays in the month of June and the ending of May.
It's going to be Pastor Daphne's birthday. This is Pastor Daphne celebrates a birthday from the 1st of June. She is
to the 30th. I celebrate a whole month. So remember me. I'm in a June mood already.
She gets gifts for every day of the week. For the whole month, she accepts gifts for the whole month. I have never seen somebody to celebrate birthdays like that.
And look at this. I already get an early June birthday gift from Leno.
I'm telling you, she does that. She gets,
and I have my coconut tree and everything on my cup. Look at that, Caribbean girl. So have a great one, everyone. Okay, I shall see you guys in June.
Bye-bye.
Bye for now.